Imagine the power's been out for 3 days, your phone is dead, the stores are empty, and every can in your pantry suddenly becomes more valuable than gold. This is why seasoned preppers don't wait for disaster to strike. In the next few minutes, you'll discover the 9 essential canned foods that could mean the difference between thriving and barely surviving in a crisis. We're not talking about expensive freeze-dried meals or fancy survival kits. These are affordable, proven staples that you can start stockpiling today. And if you stick around until the end, I'll share the advanced strategies that separate amateur stockpilers from true preppers. Welcome to Essential Pantry, where we help you build real food security without the fear or paranoia. If you're serious about protecting your family's future, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss our practical prepping advice. Now let's dive into the 9 canned foods you need in your pantry. If you could choose only one canned food for a crisis, it would be beans. Black beans, pinto beans, and chickpeas are survival staples that quietly outperform almost everything else when it comes to cost per calorie, protein, and fiber. At roughly 25 to 40 cents per serving, canned beans are one of the cheapest sources of nutrition available. You're getting complete meals for pocket change. But it's not just about the price. Low-acid beans can last 2 to 5 years when stored in a cool, dry place. That's years of reliable nutrition sitting on your shelf, ready when you need it. And the versatility is unmatched. You can use beans in chilies, mash them with rice, or stretch them into multiple meals. One can becomes the foundation for feeding your family for days. Here's a pro tip. Avoid seasoned or sugary versions. Opt for no salt added cans and rinse them before use. This gives you complete control over the flavor and reduces sodium. And here's the key to maintaining a fresh stockpile. Rotate beans into your regular cooking. Use what you store and store what you use. This simple habit keeps your pantry current and prevents waste. Now, if you want to go even further, dry beans are even cheaper than canned, though they require fuel to cook. They're an excellent backup for long-term prepping, but for ease and convenience, canned beans are your first line of defense. Let's talk about protein. Canned tuna has been a prepper favorite for decades because of its high protein content and no-cook convenience. A 5 to 6 ounce can provides a quick, easy meal with minimal preparation. The shelf life typically runs 2 to 5 years if stored properly, making it a reliable addition to any pantry. But here's where things get important. Recent recalls, like the Tri-Union recall in 2025, highlight the risks of relying too heavily on any single protein source. Contamination and defects can happen, even with trusted brands. So what's the solution? Diversification. Mix in sardines, salmon, and chicken to hedge against recall risks. This way, if one protein source becomes unavailable, you're not left scrambling. Before you buy, inspect every can. Look for bulging, rust, or damaged pull tabs. These are red flags that the can may be compromised. And remember, don't rely solely on tuna. Variety isn't just the spice of life, it's a survival strategy. This brings us to 2 often overlooked proteins, canned chicken and canned turkey. These neutral, versatile proteins are less prone to recalls than seafood, and they offer incredible flexibility in meal planning. With a shelf life of 2 to 5 years and no refrigeration required, they're as practical as they come. Each serving packs 25 to 30 grams of protein, making them ideal for maintaining muscle mass and energy during stressful times. You can use canned chicken or turkey in soups, stews, casseroles, or sandwiches. The possibilities are nearly endless. Choose plain or lightly seasoned cans for maximum flexibility. This allows you to adapt them to whatever recipe or flavor profile you need. And if you're concerned about packaging safety, look for BPA-free liners. It's a small detail that adds up over time. Now let's move to one of the most nutrient-dense options available, canned salmon. This isn't just about protein. Canned salmon offers omega-3 fatty acids, calcium, and essential nutrients that are hard to find in other shelf-stable foods. The soft, edible bones inside are a rich source of calcium, something that becomes critically important when fresh dairy isn't available. With a shelf life of 2 to 5 years, canned salmon is both practical and powerful. The omega-3s support brain function and immune health, which can deteriorate quickly under stress. Use salmon in stews, pasta dishes, or spreads. In long-term emergencies, these healthy fats become lifesavers, literally helping your body and mind function at their best. Now here's where things get interesting. Canned sardines and mackerel are often skipped because of their strong taste, but they're among the highest calorie per dollar foods you can buy. Each can delivers 200 to 250 calories and 20 grams of protein. That's serious nutritional value for a minimal investment. These small, oily fish have a shelf life of 3 to 5 years, and they're loaded with omega-3s, calcium, and protein. The key is learning how to use them. Mash them into rice, add them to soups, or spread them on crackers. Once you find a preparation method you enjoy, they become indispensable. Stock both oil-packed and water-packed versions. Oil-packed sardines provide extra calories and fat, which are crucial for energy and survival situations. Water-packed versions offer versatility and lighter meals when needed. Having both gives you options, and options equal flexibility. Now let's shift gears and talk about flavor. You can have all the protein and calories in the world, but if your food tastes like cardboard, morale suffers. This is where canned tomatoes and tomato paste come in. They're the backbone of flavor in any prepper pantry, transforming bland staples into satisfying, comforting meals. Canned tomatoes have a shelf life of 1 to 3 years, which is slightly shorter than low-acid foods, but they're worth every inch of shelf space. Diced or crushed tomatoes typically cost $1 to $1.50 per can, while tomato paste runs about 60 cents to $1. That's affordable flavor insurance. Use diced tomatoes for soups, crushed tomatoes for sauces, and paste for concentrated flavor. Each form has its place, and together they give you the ability to create a wide variety of meals from your stockpile. Tomatoes also provide vitamin C and antioxidants, which become essential when fresh produce is unavailable. Here's the storage tip. Buy tomato paste in tubes. They're easier to store, create less waste, and allow you to use exactly what you need without opening an entire can. Small details like this make a big difference in long-term pantry management. Now let's talk about the foods that often get mocked but become lifesavers in a crisis. Canned pork, Spam, and corned beef. Yes, they're processed. Yes, they're not the healthiest option in normal times, but in a survival situation, these canned meats offer dense calories, long shelf life, and incredible versatility. They're high in both protein and fat, which are essential for sustained energy when carbohydrates are scarce. The shelf life extends for multiple years, often well beyond the printed date if stored properly, and you can eat them straight from the can, fry them for sandwiches, or mix them into rice and beans for a complete meal. Here's something most people don't think about. In a crisis, these cans have barter value. When others are desperate for protein and calories, a can of Spam could be traded for batteries, rice, or medical supplies. Buy variety packs and rotate through them. What seems excessive now could become currency later. Let's talk about a category that rarely gets discussed: canned milk products. Evaporated milk and condensed milk are multi-purpose staples that boost both nutrition and morale. Evaporated milk is unsweetened, shelf-stable, and can be reconstituted for cooking or drinking. Condensed milk is sweet, calorie-dense, and perfect for comfort foods that lift spirits during tough times. Both have a shelf life of 2 to 5 years, making them excellent long-term storage options. Here's the real power. 1 can of condensed milk packs nearly 1,300 calories. That's survival fuel in a single container. In situations where every calorie counts, this becomes invaluable. Stock both types. Use evaporated milk for savory meals like soups, stews, and casseroles. Use condensed milk for morale-boosting treats like puddings, desserts, or sweetened coffee. Never underestimate the psychological value of comfort food in a crisis. It's not just about survival, it's about maintaining the will to keep going. Finally, let's talk about a game changer for serious preppers: number 10 cans and commercial emergency cans. These large, institutional-sized cans are designed specifically for long-term storage and often contain dehydrated or freeze-dried foods. The shelf life is remarkable, 20 to 30 years when unopened. One number 10 can may hold the equivalent of 8 to 10 regular cans, making them incredibly space efficient. The upfront cost is higher, but the long-term payoff is massive. You're essentially buying decades of food security in a single purchase. Start small with these. Test a few cans to see what fits your family's preferences and dietary needs. Once opened, use the contents within weeks or reseal them with oxygen absorbers to maintain freshness. These aren't your everyday pantry items. They're your deep reserves for extended crises.
Now that you know what to stockpile, let's talk about how to use it effectively. The most effective preppers don't just hoard cans, they build meal systems. There's a huge difference. A stockpile is just a pile of ingredients. A meal system is a coordinated strategy that turns those ingredients into balanced, satisfying nutrition. Pair your canned goods with dry staples like rice, oats, and pasta. This combination multiplies your nutrition and stretches your supplies much further. For example, a can of beans combined with rice and tomato paste becomes a hearty, filling meal that can feed multiple people. One can of chicken mixed with pasta and evaporated milk creates a creamy, comforting dish. This is the power of systems thinking. The goal is to create combinations where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Each can becomes a building block, not a standalone meal. This approach dramatically increases the number of days your pantry can sustain you. Here's a practice that separates amateurs from professionals: FIFO, or first in, first out. To keep your pantry fresh and avoid waste, always use your oldest cans first. Label each can with a purchase date using a permanent marker. This simple habit ensures nothing expires unnoticed and keeps your rotation efficient. Set up your shelves so that new cans go in the back and old cans are pulled from the front. It sounds basic, but this one system prevents thousands of dollars in waste over time. Check your pantry every few months, rotate what needs rotating, and update your inventory. Consistency here is everything. And here's a mistake to avoid. Don't waste money on gourmet canned meals that look fancy but fail on cost per calorie. They may taste great and have beautiful packaging, but they won't sustain you in a long-term crisis. Focus on staples, proteins, flavor bases, and a few morale treats. That's the formula for a balanced, sustainable pantry.
Speaking of long-term storage, let's revisit those number 10 cans. Once you've tested a few and know what works, they become the backbone of serious prepping. Their decades-long shelf life means you're literally buying insurance for scenarios you hope never happen. But if they do, you'll be prepared for years, not weeks. Here's the truth that most people miss. Survival isn't just about calories, it's about maintaining morale. In stressful situations, the psychological component is just as important as the physical. Comfort foods like condensed milk, fruit cups, or pudding can make a huge difference in mental well-being. When everything feels uncertain and scary, a small treat can remind you that life still has moments of sweetness. It sounds trivial until you're living through it. A balanced pantry should include both nutritional staples and small comfort items to keep spirits high. This isn't indulgence, it's strategy. Think about it. If you're eating nothing but beans and rice for weeks, fatigue sets in. Not just physical fatigue, but mental and emotional exhaustion. A can of peaches or a chocolate pudding cup can break that cycle and give you the mental reset needed to keep pushing forward. So here's your practical action plan. Start with 3 items: beans, canned chicken, and tomatoes. These form the foundation of countless meals and give you protein, calories, and flavor. Label each can with the purchase date and commit to using the oldest first. This builds the rotation habit from day one. Next, diversify your proteins. Mix tuna, salmon, sardines, and chicken to hedge against recalls and shortages. If one protein becomes unavailable, you have backups. This is risk management in its simplest form. Add dry staples to pair with your canned goods. Rice, oats, and pasta turn your cans into complete meals and multiply the number of days your pantry will last. Without these pairings, you're missing half the equation. Include morale boosters. Add a few cans of fruit, pudding, or condensed milk for comfort. These aren't luxuries, they're psychological tools. And finally, test and adjust. Try different brands and recipes to find what works for your family. Prepping isn't one size fits all. Customize your pantry to fit your needs, tastes, and budget. Prepping is a journey, not a destination. Prices are rising, recalls are increasing, and supply chains remain fragile. The smartest preppers take small, consistent steps. They label cans, check dates, and build smart rotation systems. Every can you buy now is a piece of future security. When the next crisis hits, you'll be ready, not just to survive, but to thrive. These 9 canned foods form the foundation of a crisis-ready pantry. Beans for cost-effective calories and protein, tuna, chicken, and turkey for versatile no-cook meals, salmon, sardines, and mackerel for nutrient density and healthy fats, tomatoes for flavor and morale, Spam and corned beef for calorie density and barter value, canned milk for nutrition and comfort, and number 10 cans for decades of security.
But here's the real message. Prepping isn't about fear. It's about freedom and control over your future. It's the confidence that comes from knowing your family will eat well no matter what happens. Whether it's a power outage, job loss, or another round of shortages, a well-stocked pantry is your shield against uncertainty. Don't wait for disaster to strike. Start building your pantry today, one can at a time. Mix affordable staples with calorie-dense proteins, rotate consistently, and include a few morale boosters. The steps you take now will pay off when it matters most. If you found this valuable, subscribe to Essential Pantry and take control of your family's food security today. We're here to help you build real preparedness without the panic. Stay prepared, stay steady, and remember, you can't control the storm, but you can stock the shelter.